Hey, what's up everyone? This video I'm going to be talking about the GoPro Hero 7, which I'm filming on right now. Just taking it out for my first run ever. Actually ran from my house, so a little bit of roads, a little bit of trail. In the winter it is quite bare. What I'm trying to do is do a little comparison to last week's video, the DJI Osmo Pocket. It's hard to say when it's cold. It's like 30 degrees right now. I'm just doing this handheld. I don't know, probably like 18 inches away from my face right now. So the DJI, I was in 4K, 60 frames a second, but this GoPro, I've got it in 2.7K, 60 frames a second and linear mode. GoPro still cannot record 4K in linear mode. Just depressing. Anyway, so it's not like a perfect comparison. This is more of like a usability, framing sort of situation. This isn't gonna be as long of a video, hopefully, unless there's something terribly wrong with this camera. You've seen a lot of footage from the Hero 5, so this is really just gonna be just kind of taking a look at what's different, but then also just comparing like colors. This is in just the GoPro Pro Tune. We all know what GoPros can do. We know what they look like. Really just taking a look at the stabilization, how it compares to what you saw last week in an actual gimbal. That's the big thing they're pushing with this GoPro. They say that it's the gimbal killer. Let's see what this looks like. It's pretty like blah place. Not much color at all. It's pretty much all just like brown and dead. I've been going for almost 3 miles. Like I said, this isn't gonna be a super long run. I'm pretty tired. I've already worked. It's Saturday, December 23rd. I've already worked a full day. I don't know if, oh, squirrel! Those of you that don't know, I've got a couple jobs. One of them is I'm a contracted sound engineer for a church here in town. And today we had a couple services already for Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. We're gonna go back and be with the family a little bit. I can't pass up this beautiful cloudy weather. 30 degrees, not too bad. Let's go.
Yes, I'ma love you like you love Johnny Cash.
I'll be your gangster, I'll be your man in black.
I know what I'm doing, yeah, don't need a map.
I got the juice to throw your train off the track. Honey, do whatever you want, I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, oh, so now we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world, I'll knock you flat on your back.
When I'm good, I'm really good boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good girl. When I'm bad, I'm better. You be my bunny, baby, I'll be your Clyde.
Hit the ignition and I'll give you a ride.
Swing of your hips has got me fit to be tied.
I'm shaking tail and taking names on the side. Honey, do whatever you want, I'll be watching.
Get a little too close, now we're touching. No, I'm not fronting, I'm just stating a fact.
I'll rock your world and knock you flat on your back. When I'm good, I'm really good boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good girl. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm bad, I'm better. When I'm bad, I'm better. When I'm good, I'm really good boy. When I'm bad, I'm better.
When I'm good, I'm really good girl.
Alright, so I haven't obviously watched any of that footage yet, but I'm hoping that it looks good. When you're running, that's the big test. We had some really soft light. Right now, we got a bunch of light coming straight through the trees. It's creating interesting contrast, bright shadows. Did a couple miles here in the woods. Now I'm gonna head back home. We're still a few miles away from home. Oh, also, I will say I wasn't trying very hard to keep it steady, but I wasn't trying any harder than I've ever tried before. So it'll be a really good comparison to if you guys have seen my Run Rabbit Run video or my Leadville videos or Grindstone or anything like that. Those races where I just brought this exact setup, this little selfie stick, be really good comparisons to go back and watch that video and then this video, because it's exact. I'm doing everything exactly the same. 2.7K, 60 frames a second. This little selfie stick. The only big difference is the new GoPro with the stabilization. Well, I've made it back to the bike path. Going about 5 miles at this point. My hip is kind of giving me some problems. I have not been running as much as I should. I've been averaging kind of like 20-25 miles a week since Run Rabbit Run, but the last 2 weeks, just with Christmas, everything coming up, it's been really hectic. Just haven't been able to get the miles in. I wonder if any of you relate to that. I think we all do. I guess I'll get like maybe 8 miles here today. But enough talking, let's do it. The other thing is really hard. It's really hard to do these whip pans that I do a lot with these gloves on because I'm really slippery. So the whip pan is not as great. Beautiful sunlight has come out and graced me with its presence. Yes, sunlight in December. All right, that's it. I'm ending this basically in the same place I ended the last one, just for comparison. It's so cold right now. The wind is right in my face and my lips aren't really moving very well. Yeah, we're gonna see how this footage looks. Okay, we're gonna go see how this footage looks now. Bye. Hey guys, I just finished editing that video that you watched just now of me running around, and I have to say, to cut to the chase, I'm blown away. I cannot believe that this camera can do what it does. This GoPro Hero 7 Black is just amazing. When I was editing, I actually felt like I was editing footage that was shot with my gimbal. I could not believe how steady this was. I just had it on this little tiny selfie stick. It's not even like that nice of a selfie stick. It actually makes a lot of noise. I was just like holding it out here and it was awesome. The footage looks amazing. I cannot believe how good it looks. I was not even really trying that hard to keep it like really steady. Like I wasn't like really trying. I hope you guys can believe that I'm being honest. The last video where I reviewed the DJI Osmo Pocket and I just wasn't that impressed with it. Gave you my honest opinions about it. In no way is this sponsored by GoPro. Don't even really know that much about the company, but this camera, this Hero 7 is amazing. A couple things about it. I'm gonna keep this video really short. Like I said earlier, we all know what GoPro footage looks like. What I was really testing was the stabilization. I wanted to see the updates in like the colors, sharpness, has a higher bit rate. So being able to get more detail out of the backgrounds, especially fast moving backgrounds. Maybe it's because I'm coming from a Hero 5 and I'm jumping a generation and going straight to the 7. This, like the Hero 5 doesn't even compare to this camera. Like this camera is on a completely different planet than the Hero 5. The Hero 5 I felt was, the backgrounds would just kind of look all like pixelated and wasn't fast enough to capture like outdoors like really fast with lots of leaves and trees and stuff. This was able to do that better. I was recording in 2.7K 60 frames a second. You can go back and you can compare the footage from Run Rabbit Run and Leadville and Grindstone. All of that was in 2.7K 60 frames a second. So yeah, the detail looks really good. The colors look really good right out of the box. I didn't change anything with the colors. It was just Pro Tune, just like GoPro's colors, which is what I use with the Hero 5 as well. So I tried to have all the settings exactly the same. The only difference was that the hyper smooth is turned on, and so you get that stabilization. Yeah, real quick, just to go through are a couple pros and cons about the GoPro Hero 7. If you don't have a GoPro at all, here's some things to think about as you're jumping into it. And I'm also gonna mention, like, if you're upgrading specifically from a 5, because the 6, I don't think a whole lot of people got the 6. It was just, there was a lot of problems with it. They got really bad press, and it wasn't that big of an upgrade over the 5. Jumping from a 5 to a 7, huge upgrade. So here's a couple things. Pros, obviously, they're just known for being durable. Like, you can beat them up, throw them in bags, drop them off cliffs. Like, they're probably gonna be fine. This protective cover over the lens is just a piece of plastic. You can pop it right off, get a new one. So if it does fall and crack, the actual lens is protected inside. You're not gonna break that glass unless you really smash the GoPro in half. So durability, just amazing. Waterproof, obviously. All these doors, they've got this weather sealing around here on all the doors. It's what you expect from a GoPro. Another pro, much improved video quality over the Hero 5. I've already kind of gone over that. You already watched the video. Just, it's a big upgrade. Stabilization, not perfect, but really good. Like I said earlier, I felt like I was editing footage that was shot with a gimbal. Like, it was so smooth. The other thing is that when I've got it in here, I can really easily like tell where the horizon is. I can change the horizon if I want to. The thing with the Karma grip is that it would kind of freak out a lot and it would not be able to find the horizon. And so for lots of shots, it would just be like tilted at like 45 degrees or like down or up. And it was just like, it couldn't find the horizon because, I don't know, maybe it wasn't meant to be like moving around so fast. Or running is also really hard on gimbals, I know that. This is just much easier to control, slide it in and out of a bag. As far as running with races, having this little selfie stick, super easy to slide it in your back, super simple. But yeah, stabilization with this little selfie stick, great right out of the box. Just make sure you have it on hyper smooth. And one thing, here's a tip, there was a lot of settings, it said hyper smooth is not available on this setting. Problem is, right out of the box, I have no idea why they do this, but right out of the box, the video setting on the GoPro is in 4:3 aspect ratio, which is like, okay, fine. Change it to 16:9, and then you can get hyper smooth in almost everything except for the 4K 60 frames a second. So next, and this is probably my biggest gripe with the DJI Osmo. Field of view on the GoPro is great. I can hold it here and it's comfortably got plenty of space above, plenty of space below. Field of view is just way better on a GoPro. If you put it in wide mode, you can see everything around you almost. I always keep it in linear mode. I don't think I ever put it in wide mode. It just has a little bit less distortion around the edges, but it's still plenty wide. If you're getting landscapes, you're running outside, you want to get buildings, you want to get shots of yourself. It's just great. It's great. Okay, so cons, things that are bad about this that I don't like. There's really only one that's substantial, and that's the audio. I've always had my Hero 5 on stereo and wind mode. And what that does is it's got stereo field for audio, but then when it gets windy, it turns off certain microphones and leaves others on. And it can tell that just by basically if one of the microphones are being overdriven. The setting that I had it on the Hero 5, it worked really well for that. When it got windy, it changed the audio, but it wasn't so dramatic. Quality of the microphone is actually pretty fine when you're just filming yourself. But then as soon as any wind comes around, it really, really changes it. And it's not as bad as the Osmo. The Osmo, when wind comes, it just basically does a high pass filter, just like slams it up to like 500, 700 hertz, something like that. You basically sound like a chipmunk. The Hero 5 sounds like it's doing a high pass and a low pass filter, so it kind of sticks more to the mids. It's not pleasing at all to the ear, but it sounds better than the Osmo. However, it's still not great, but that's the one gripe that I have about it. Right out of the box, the audio isn't as good as I wanted it to be. I was hoping for a pretty big upgrade there, but the other cons are that it's still a GoPro, like it's still the same size, it's still kind of big, blocky. It's got that GoPro look. If you want to do anything professional, it still doesn't look great. The Osmo did look a lot better. The look was a little bit more cinematic, mainly because of that narrower field of view. The Osmo just looked a little bit more like a DSLR, like the background was a little bit more blurred out, narrower field of view. So everyone's still gonna know you're filming on a GoPro. You're not gonna fake anyone out. It's really like my only cons. I don't really have a whole lot of bad stuff to say about this camera because I'm coming from a Hero 5, so I'm used to a GoPro. Like, I use it all the time. I know it in and out. And so moving up to a 7 was like, all these awesome things came around. My view is a little bit skewed from that probably. So I just kind of have to tell you that, like, I'm used to the 5. Like, I know it in and out. Hero 7's a lot better. If you're coming from nothing, like this is gonna be your first action camera, it's great. Like, I would really recommend it. So final verdict, probably obvious, but this is definitely a solid camera. It's awesome. Much better than the DJI Osmo and much better than the Hero 5. From what I'm reading on the internet, definitely upgrade over the 6 as well. Obviously, yes, I'm keeping this. This is gonna be in all of my future running films, and I'm probably not even gonna keep that gimbal, probably selling it. Selling the Hero 5 as well. This is gonna be my running filmmaking kit, like when I'm on the trail. It's small, it's easy to carry around. I know it in and out, it's got a good picture. Stabilization is awesome. Again, this is what probably gonna be the 3rd time I'm gonna say it. I felt like I was editing footage that was shot on a gimbal. That's it. That's my verdict. That's what I think about this camera. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will answer every single one of them. I just wanna help you out because 2 years ago, this was my only camera. I invested couple $100 to get this, and I started a YouTube channel. I wish I had information like I'm giving to you. So that's the point. That's why I'm giving you information like this, so that you can make good decisions and you can get some gear and start filming yourself, because 2 years ago, I didn't have a YouTube channel. Now, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm here if you have any questions. Leave a comment down below. Ask your question, I will answer it. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye.